Hey there everybody, welcome back to another speed paint video. As I promised last week, I wanted to do a video that wasn't overtly Pokemon related, so for this one, I am doing an Animal Crossing theme. I will be drawing Animal Crossing villagers that are toucans, since I think toucans would be a fun species for them to have, but I also highly doubt they will ever go for it because they already have so many different kinds of birds. Toucans are pretty cute. I think they lend themselves to a lot of fun character design with their beaks, their colors, and just how darn cute they are. So, without further ado, let's jump into looking at my toucans. Before I drew any specific characters, my first job was to set up the basic proportions. When it comes to Animal Crossing villagers, they all belong to a specific species. Each one of these species has a body shape that they follow. Even though there may be deviations from this, they aren't very big. And most of the time, these characters all have basically the same silhouette, with only a few minor differences. My goal was to sort of emulate that feel with these characters by making them all based on the same base, but giving them all individual outfits and faces and other features that you would see in an Animal Crossing game. So of course I had to start with my layout. I made the beak really big, and I took a lot of elements from the eagle villagers that are canon to the franchise, but I tried to make these different by making the beaks quite large and making the back of the head a little bit more round. I also tried to keep their tufty feathers on the lower part of their head to sort of mirror the high tufty feathers that are on the back of the eagle heads. I also kept their wings fairly flat. The eagle's wings are actually just basically flat rectangles with rounded ends, without any specific fingers or feathers or anything like that. So I tried to give that feel to these guys to make them feel even more like Animal Crossing villagers. For these villagers, I tried to give them a zygodactyl foot, which means they have 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back. This allows a lot of birds to more easily hang onto trees and climb them. Woodpeckers, for example, have feet like this. I thought that these zygodactyl feet would further distinguish the toucan villagers from the eagle villagers and other bird villagers. Of course, you have a lot of trouble seeing that extra toe in the back from most angles, but the fact that they only have 2 in the front should be enough to suggest that they have the extra one in the back. After doing my layout, it was time to start actually doing the character designs. The first character I made is a normal villager. Here's a disclaimer up front, all the villager types I worked on for this video are the female villager types, which means we're going to be seeing the normal, snooty, peppy, and uchi style villagers. I might do the males at another point, but truly I did not have it in me to do all 8 villager types, and I had decent ideas for these 4, so these are the 4 that I made. Anyway, our normal villager, I tried to make her really cute. I wanted to give the impression that she's shy, maybe spends a lot of time indoors, and one of my guiding principles for designing her was making her someone I could believe would spend all day in the winter reading by the fireplace while it snows outside. I just had a very clear vision in mind of what her relaxation time looks like. I tried to make her look very cozy with a little sweater, and I decided to limit my palettes for each of these characters. For my normal villager, I gave her a very red palette to sort of resemble Valentine's Day. A lot of birds do pair bond and stuff, so I felt like it was relevant to the toucan idea. I don't know if toucans actually pair bond, but I still thought it would be really charming and cute. There are a lot of villagers who are themed around hearts. The only one I can think of right now is Gale, who is the alligator villager who's pink and heart themed. So I tried to make her sort of in that vein. I think she came out really cute. She's so charming looking, I can imagine her being on someone's very aesthetic pastel-themed island, which I think means she passes the test. Our next villager is a snooty villager. She's actually the only one of this set that I didn't theme around a very specific color. I really tried to make her have a very naturalistic sort of toucan color palette, and I wanted her to seem like she might be a little condescending. I don't think she would be very overtly mean to you per se, but I think she would, be snooty, as her villager type would suggest. I tried to give her long eyelashes, I made the little tip of her beak kind of resemble lipstick, I gave her a nice little long dress, which looks really funny on a toucan since they don't really have the figure for it. And I tried to make her seem like she would be like an older character you would run into who would seem a little mean at first, but be very fierce to defend you and her friends if you guys were ever in trouble or being made fun of or something. So I think she came out really cute. I tried to give her a pattern that almost resembled a hairstyle. I was trying to make it seem like maybe she used to be a flapper almost, which now that I say it out loud, making her a flapper is another thing that makes her more like a bird. So I think that's pretty fun. This character was very much inspired by Monique, who's one of the cat snooty villagers. She's the first one I think of whenever I think of snooty villagers. When I was playing City Folk as a child, she was a snooty villager in my town. I thought she was kind of weird looking and mean, but as an adult, I can appreciate what she's going for. So I tried to capture that sort of character here. This snooty villager might not be on anybody's top 10 list if she were really in the game, and I don't know if she would be considered one of the most aesthetic characters, but I really want to give the vibe of like a put-together middle-aged woman. And I think she came out pretty cool, so I hope you guys enjoy her. Next up, we have probably one of my favorite designs from this batch. It's the Peppy Villager. Now, I know Peppy Villagers are typically shown as very girly girl type characters, and I actually decided to make this character almost completely blue. I have this very clear picture in my mind of a character who's themed around the night sky and stars. There have been quite a few characters who have that sort of theme lately. Ione and Filbert have rooms that are kind of themed around that, and Julian is another character who's like got this fantastical blue vibe. I really wanted this character to feel at home with those other blue, magical Starry Night characters. I even gave her stars in her eyes and tried to make the tip of her beak have a star-like shape. I also tried to give the white pattern on her face a star-like shape, so if you were facing her head-on, maybe you would kind of see a star shape there. It's not exact, but I tried to incorporate stars wherever I could in this design to really drive home the theme. I think she would be very popular if she were a real villager. I'm sure she would be in many people's very aesthetic dream towns and stuff. And I just think she's really cute. Part of the reason I went for the star theme so hard is because of the quote-unquote pop star vibe that Peppy villagers have. I just thought it would be fun to take that idea a little bit literally, make her very, literally star themed for being a pop star. Who knows, maybe she's actually some kind of alien who's just mimicking the shape of a toucan because she heard they were cute. Who can say? It's up to you. I don't make the rules. Do whatever headcanon you want for this little lady. I think she came out pretty stinking cute. And last, but certainly not least, is the Uchi villagers. These are probably my favorite villager type. I was gonna say favorite female villager type, but nah. They're probably my favorite villager type in general. Maybe it's because if I were an Animal Crossing villager, I might be an Uchi villager. I am an older sister after all. So I thought it would be fun to do this character. Since we already did a red and a blue character, it felt only fitting to do a yellow-themed character and complete our set of primary colors. I themed her beak around a different type of toucan than the other three. She has this sort of triangular black part instead of just the black tip. And it really makes her have a very different feel, which I think is pretty appropriate. She really seems like someone who would be at home in a very normal community, if that makes sense. She just looks like she could live in suburban America, I guess. I don't know. I really tried to make her seem a little tired, but not exhausted. I think maybe when she was a teenager, she would have been more of like a punk or a rebellious sort of kid who was upset, but she's definitely more well-adjusted as an adult. For some reason, I'm picturing her working at a gas station. I don't think she loves working there, but maybe, maybe she finally quits that job and moves to your island when she's in Animal Crossing, and that's where she's living her best life. I like to imagine that the sweater that she's wearing is very old. Maybe she has been wearing it since she first became an adult. So I just think she's pretty neat. I think she would be very silly. She'd watch anime with you. She would be a cool friend. You know, I just think she's very chill and cool to hang out with. Even though she's not like a traditionally aesthetic villager, I still think she's pretty cool, and I think she finds herself at home with the other Uchi villager designs. And with that, those are all 4 of the Toucan designs I have for you guys on this speed paint. I think they came out really cute, and by the way, I don't actually have names for any of these characters. Like, I have ideas for their vibes and personality, but I have no idea for any names, so if you guys have any cool name suggestions for any of these 4 characters, please feel free to comment, and maybe they'll become those characters' names in the future, assuming I use them again anyway. I think they came out really cute though. I think they look very convincingly like possible Animal Crossing villagers. I think they all very clearly reflect their personality while also still being themselves. And god dang, I think they really do look like Animal Crossing toucans. If you would like to support me, I recommend checking out my Ko-fi page. I have that link down below. I have monthly memberships, which get you a bunch of different perks like behind the scenes, discounts, all sorts of stuff. You'll see it when you go there. If you're interested in following me on social media, I'll have those links down as well. You know what? It's July, and July means it's art fight time. If you are participating in art fight, I am on Team Stardust. My username is just Aquaspider, capital A, capital S. I'll have that link to the description as well. If you would like to attack me, feel free. I'm attacking a lot of different people at random, probably. I'm actually recording this in late June, so art fight hasn't started yet. I haven't started making any attacks yet, obviously, so feel free to attack me. I'll revenge you, probably. I usually get about 100 attacks done every year, so there's a pretty good chance I will get to you and have a revenge for you. Art fight's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend participating in it. If you guys are interested in any art fight advice videos, by the way, like, let me know. I've been seeing a bunch of those recommended to me on YouTube, but I've also seen people complaining about them and then, like, posting their own written post about their own art fight advice, and then everyone's, like, pretty much just saying the same things, but I also think it would be a fun excuse just to talk about art fight for a while, because I love art fight. I've been doing art fight since Sun and Moon, so I will take any excuse to talk about art fight at length. Me and a bunch of my friends are participating in it this year. Again, I'm on Team Stardust, but I will probably attack you regardless of what team you're on. And with that, I think that's everything I have for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing these little villagers. Let me know which one of them is your favorite. Let me know if you have any name ideas for any of them, please. They are all nameless. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time with another different speed paint. So get out there and make some art.